This is my second video on circles. The first one is actually just the equation of the circle, and it's pretty useful. I'm going to show you something else this video, which is also useful in its own right. But just want to go through a few things, and I'm going to start with the circle here. And as you can see, it's x plus 4 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 25. And the reason why it's 25 is because the radius is 5. I want to evaluate what's going to happen if we have something like y equals 4. Now, remember, the line y equals 4 is going to be this line here. And what you should notice is it intersects at two different places. So, with that said, we should have two values. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, well, if y equals 4, I'm just going to plug this in. I'm going to get x plus 4 squared equals, plus, no, goodness me. Now, you know what, let's just rewrite this whole thing. X plus 4 quantity squared plus, now I'm going to write down 4 minus 2 quantity squared equals 25. And the reason why is because y equals 4. So then I'm left with x plus 4 quantity squared equals 4 minus 2 is, oh, goodness me, I did it again. Plus 4 minus 2 is 2, and then I get 2 squared equals 25. So I get x plus 4 quantity squared plus 4 equals 25. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And I get x plus 4 quantity squared equals 21. Now, I need to get rid of the square, so I take the square root of both. But remember, when you do that, it's supposed to become plus or minus. So I end up with x plus 4 equals plus or minus radical 21. Subtract 4 from both sides. You get x equals a negative 4 plus radical 21, or x equals negative 4 minus radical 21. And radical 21 is between radical 16 and radical 25, right? So that means that radical 21 is someplace between 4 and 5. So negative 4 plus 4 point something, it's going to be just around here. And negative 4 minus 4 point something, it's going to be like, what, negative 8 point something? So let's see, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. And it's going to be right around there. And that's why you end up with two values. It is possible that if I had done what happens when y equals 7, I'd have just got one value. And this also works. You can find out x values. So for example, if I wanted to find out the value when x equals, let's see, what is that, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, I would do the same thing. Of course, I'd have to find my erasing tool. And if x equals 7, it would look something like this. It'd be 7 plus 4 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 25. Okay. 11 squared. Well, I'm sorry, it was negative 7, so it won't be 11 squared. Oops, 25. It would have been negative 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 25. So I get 9 plus y minus 2 squared equals 25. I subtract 9. You get y minus 2 quantity squared equals 16. But now, once again, if I take the square root of both, this is going to become plus or minus. I get y minus 2 equals plus or minus 4. Add 2. I'm going to get y equals 2 minus 4, which is negative 2, or y equals 2 plus 4, which is 6. So when I'm looking at x as negative 7, it's going to be negative 7, negative 2, or negative 7, positive 6. And let's take a quick look. Here's a negative 5. Let's see if I get rid of that. negative 7 and 6, and negative 7 and negative 2. The last thing I want to show you is this. When you look at the equation of the circle, it's really this quantity squared plus this quantity squared equals the radius squared. Oh, you know what? I'll just rewrite it. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And that's really the Pythagorean theorem. And there's some pretty good implications here. If we go back to this picture, watch what happens here. If I want to go and find this point, then I go from here to here. This is 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared, and that's a right angle triangle. And the reason why that's significant is because, the radius is 25. And like I said, this quantity here is 3 units. This quantity here is 4 units. And this quantity here, which is our radius, is 5 units, but we knew that. And that's why it's kind of neat. So, just wanted to make sure you guys understood that. And you can actually find any point. If I want to know, we know that from here to here is going to be 5. So if I go over 1 unit, and then up, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not the full value, so it's going to be 5 squared. If I want to know this distance here, from here to here, I would do 5 squared equals 1 squared plus x squared, and then you'd be able to figure it out. So actually going to be radical 24. Anyway, that's it. Hope that helped. Good luck.